Hi, I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, and I'm a soul sculptor. I'm the founder of Love Yourself Fearlessly and the author of Orgasm for Life. There was a time when I overspent, and it could be said, yes, I did have a shopping addiction. And I have actually run the gamut of many different addictions, shopping being one on this series or slide into Home Plate, where I feel like I have mastered all of those things. The three things that are dependent, or that having enough is dependent on, are one, that we feel enough, two, that we have self-discipline, and three, knowing that material things only have a fleeting moment where they make us feel better, and then they can actually make us feel worse. And I'll give you a case study, me personally. So a while ago, this was actually probably 30 years ago, some of you weren't here yet, but 30 years ago, I was married to Bill Gates, and he made a lot of money, and we lived a beautiful lifestyle, except that I was very unhappy, and nothing that I bought made me feel like I was enough. I was always looking for the next best thing. Oh, I deserve this. I can go get it. And, this was a long time ago, but I would think nothing of going out and spending $300 on a pair of high heels, or 3 or 4 in one shopping spree. I'd go to Harrods when we lived in England, and that's a very expensive department store, and I would go, it was a charge. It was, it's almost like having sex, is to buy something that charges you up. It fills you with this adrenaline rush, and that's how you know that it's an addiction. And then you get out to the checkout, and my armpits would start sweating. I remember it so well. And then, of course, I'd have to go home and explain to my husband why I spent $3,000 in a day. And the long and the short of it was never enough. And, if you've ever given a gift to someone and they didn't like it, or they criticized it, it's because they don't feel like they are enough. So the bottom line is, when we feel that we are enough, that we feel worthy, we feel deserving, and we love ourselves, we don't have to go spend to boost us. We don't have to go spend money to make ourselves feel better, because we already feel enough. We already feel good enough. So those three things, knowing that you are enough, having the self-discipline to not spend, and then the third thing is to know that, when you go and you buy something new, it's a short-lived feeling. There are a lot of very wealthy people, and a case in point, a director, and I can't think of his name at the moment, but he lives in Malibu, and he had a $7 million home. He talked about this in a lot of venues. He had a $7 million home, and he moved in. He was all excited, all charged up, and when he stood in there looking around his massive mansion, it didn't make him feel any better. And he realized it wasn't what made him feel happy. He sold that mansion, and he moved into a trailer, yes, a mobile home in Malibu. His name is Tom. So, and this is the point here. I used to live in a 5,000 square foot home, where we had a 3-car garage with 1,500 square feet of finished area above the garage. But the bottom line is, as happy as that makes you feel for a time, if you feel empty, it doesn't fulfill you. So the thing of it is to have enough, we need to start saving. We need to be putting money in a little jar every day, whether it's $1 or 50 cents. But when you start to see this accumulation growing, it's going to make you feel better to know this is accumulating. Money is going in this jar. And I had someone tell me when I had my landscape business in Georgia, he owned a nursery, and it was a fabulous nursery in Woodstock, Georgia, called Twin Branch. He told me, Jennifer, it is not what you make, it is what you spend that makes the difference. So you could keep the spending the way you do and then end up with $1 million and blow that too. And if you've ever followed rock stars and NBA stars and football players, you know, that don't have management skills, they burn through their money and have nothing to show for it. It often happens. So, you know, success means so many things to so many people. But here's the thing, is that when you feel like you are enough, when you feel that you are good enough, and this is what I help you do, overcome those feelings of not being good enough or not feeling good enough. These are things that were stored in our unconscious mind when we were children, whether we were criticized or tormented in some way or abandoned, that somebody said something to us, and we translated that into, oh, I'm not good enough. And I'll tell you what it did. What did it for me, among many other things. But when I was wanting to go to college, my dad said to me, because I wanted to be a vet, my dad said to me, I'm not going to waste my hard-earned money on your college education when all you're going to do, Jennifer, is get married and have babies. Yes, it made me feel awful. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like, well, I'm just a girl. I'm just going to go get married. I mean, what's the point in me focusing on a career? I'm just going to get married. I'll never amount to anything, is the translation in my heart, in my mind, in my body. So when someone says something like that with us or to us, it's a limiting belief. It's not true. It is not true. So, you know, some of those things that are holding us back are things that were installed by our parents so long ago. You are enough. You are good enough. You're already loved. But so we need to harness this and reprogram the unconscious mind. And those are some of the things that I help you do. You can visit my website, Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. Take my self-love quiz and see where you are, whether you feel like you're good enough. Or are you a people pleaser? Thanks for watching, and if you like this, share it with a friend. My website is jenniferelizabethmasters.com. Much love.